Welcome back to the podcast. We're going through a midlife crisis, or I'm going to show you how to navigate through a midlife crisis. What is a midlife crisis? Why does it happen? And how you can solve it, most importantly. If you're new to the channel, my name is Lewis Huckstep. I'm a performance and fulfillment coach, if I can speak English today. And I help people create a life that they love. They heal through healing through trauma, understanding or finding your life's purpose, building a thriving career or business, a beautiful, deep, intimate relationship. That's what I do. So everything I do essentially prevents people from experiencing a midlife crisis. So a lot of my clients actually come to me around that age. The average client I work with, one-on-one anyways, is around the age of 40. And that's when, I guess, midlife crises start to happen around that age. And I'm going to explain to you why and, again, how to solve that. So if that interests you guys, hit subscribe, like this video, comment down below your thoughts on the takeaways from the video, and sit back and enjoy. This is going to be a really beautiful conversation. So I actually sat down, and I've never actually written down my answer to this. So I did that before I click record today. And I was just asking the question, what is a midlife crisis? Like, in my words anyways, like I had a quick Google, I had some look at some other answers, which I did agree with some of them, some I didn't necessarily agree with, but I wrote down my answer, and this is my answer. It is a period or phase of life where you start to realize and question if the life that you've created is what truly fulfills you. That for me is what midlife crisis is. I'm going to read that out again. It's a period or phase of your life where you begin to realize and question if the life that you've created is what's truly fulfilling to you. Is the life that you created the life you want to live? That's essentially what you've done. And I'm explaining to you why people get there. And I'm going to explain to you the actual steps of what you do. And ironically, it's exactly what I do for people, which is quite fitting. I don't know why I don't talk about this topic more often, but this is why, this is where it leads to. So picture this. This is why it happens. So let's picture this. You are not being who you truly are. You're wearing a mask, a persona. You're listening to other people's values, expectations, and needs and wants. You have to do this. You should do this. You got to do this. You must do this. And you've also got all these limiting beliefs of who you have to be enough. That's called your ego. I'll come back to that in a moment. So just picture that. You're not being who you truly are. You're listening to your parents, society, religion, social media, friends, family, your partner, and they're telling you who you need to be, who you have to be, who you should be, who you got to be, all the above. And you've also got all these limiting beliefs on who you are. You have to have money to be loved. You have to have a great body. You're not worthy. You're not lovable. You're not enough, whatever it may be, all these limitations. Pretend that's you right now. And that might be you right now. If that's who you are, you're not being who you truly are. You're wearing a mask. In other words, you're being someone that you're not. You will then set goals that aren't yours. So then you go pursuing these goals, whether it's career or money or travel or whatever it is, and you go crush those goals. Maybe you don't. You'll obviously fail on the way. We all fail. But you'll then eventually, over a period of time, achieve something. But the things that you achieve are based on someone that you're not. You're living a life that's not yours. You're being someone who you think you have to be, should be, got to be, must be because of your upbringing, because of mum or dad or society, religion, whatever you've been conditioned with. So by definition, you're being someone that you're not. So you're going to create a life for someone who's not fucking you. And that's why you have the old wake up moment at the age of sort of 50, 30, 50, 60, 70, however old you wake up essentially, where you're like, fuck, I've just built this life and I don't actually fucking love it. I've got maybe the status, the car, the house or whatever, but I feel fucking empty. Is this all life has to offer? Is there any more meaning to life? That's when you start asking those questions because you've like, there's a quote from Jim Carrey and I'm going to butcher it right now. I didn't think I was going to say this, but it's come through me. I'll butcher the quote. It's along the lines of, I wish everyone would achieve all of their aspirations, goals, and achievements to realize it's not what's important or it's not what it's all caught up to be. I'm paraphrasing. I probably butchered the shit out of that, but it's along the same lines. It's like you've got a lot of these injected goals from other people's expectations, values, wants, and needs, and you think that's the happiness. You think, I'll achieve, the goal will make me happy. That's a mirage, my friend, because nothing external fulfills you internally. I'll say that again. Nothing externally fulfills you internally. So if you think I'll be happy when the money, the cars, the followers, the body, the status, the job, the corner office, whatever it is, if you think that's going to make you happy, that's a mirage, my friend. Because what do? You get there And then you feel happy it's like when you get a new phone. We've all experienced that, or something new car or something like that. It feels good for a day, a week, a month, a year maybe. And then it's like, what else is there? Especially, and this is all again enhanced if you're setting goals that aren't yours based on the persona, the mask of who you think you have to be. There's a simple line. You'll never be happy and fulfilled trying to be number 2 of someone else. And I did that for a long fucking time. I was setting goals. I opened 3 gyms by the age of 23 because I thought I would be happy by having all these gyms, when in reality, I don't fucking even, I do look after my health, but I'm not like obsessed about health and fitness. Like I do calories and protein and stuff like that, but not that I don't give 2 shits. I'm not that curious and fascinated and fulfilled with just training. Like I trained this morning, I just got home from the gym, but I'm not obsessed about it compared to like purpose and healing and breakthroughs and business and relationships. Those are the things that interest me more. So that's why it happens. Long story short, I'm kind of getting on a rant, but the reason a midlife crisis happens is you've been being someone that you're not. So you've set goals that aren't yours. And then eventually you'll wake up and you've created a life based on the person that you're not. And then you start asking the questions, is this all life has to offer? What's the meaning of life? Is this all it called up to be? I'm going to go buy a caravan and travel the fucking world. You're going to start like trying all these different things. But I'm going to shortcut that for you and give you answers to this problem. So 1, you don't have to experience that. Or 2, if you're experiencing it right now, let's turn it around. Let's help you through it. So I have 3 steps in my method. So I have a method called the Inspired Life Method, the step-by-step framework of how to create a life that inspires you. So essentially the cure to this problem. And I'm actually going to show you guys a photo of it soon. So if you're watching the video of this podcast, watch the screen in a moment. Or if you're not watching the video, I'd recommend go switch onto YouTube. I think Spotify has the video version of this, so you can actually see my screen. I'll put it up now. So this is my method. This is how I help people. So there's 3 phases that I go through, or 3 pillars that I call it. So first pillar is self-mastery. I start here because this is what most people don't start with, and they start down here with skills and strategies. So I'll go through it quickly, then I'll dissect it a little bit more. So first part is self-mastery. This is essentially understanding who you truly are authentically without the mask or the personas or the expectations or whatever it is that you've been living with. Who are you truly in your core? What intrinsically lights your soul on fire? What fulfills you so much? I love the quote I use all the time. The need for motivation is a symptom of an uninspired goal. It's currently 8 a.m. I've trained, I've done some work, I've done some reach out to some clients, I've checked in, spent some time with my partner, and I'm like, fuck, I feel like filming a podcast today. I would love to film a podcast today. I didn't have my coach or someone check in and say, hey, Lewis, you need to do a podcast today. It's like, no, I want to. I'm inspired to do this. I want to do this because it lights me up, because I'm living out my values and my purpose, and I'm working towards my mission and vision. So I'll just go through this quickly. Self-mastery, I start here before we do the other things. Because if you start setting goals and chasing goals based on someone that you're not, that's where you end up having a midlife crisis. So let's start here. What are your values? Your values are the areas of life that intrinsically drive you the most. Most people have a misperception and a delusion around values. They think values are things like honesty, loyalty, integrity, freedom. None of those are values. Those are character traits. I'll use an example. Freedom. Freedom's not the funniest one, it's the easiest one to use an example. Let's pretend, or ask yourself, do you think that you value freedom? 99.99999% of people have said yes to that. Well, 100% have said yes so far. I just haven't spoken to every human being, so I can't say it's 100%. Majority of people say yes to that question. They say, yeah, I value freedom. I say, great. Pretend I transfer you right now $1 billion tax-free US into your bank account. That's more money than you ever need to live. You could live a beautiful, incredible fucking life with that much money. So you've instantly got time and financial freedom, right? So you've got freedom. Would you go sit on your couch for the rest of your life and watch Netflix and do nothing else besides watch Netflix? Every single person I've asked that question to says no, and they start to giggle and laugh a bit. And then I'd say, well, what would you do instead? And whatever your answer is to that question are your values. If you value experiences or travel, you are going to go buy a flight and travel around the world, first class, and go wherever you want to travel to. If you value your health, you're going to buy the world's best supplements. You're going to buy a sauna. You're going to buy an ice bath. You're going to buy the world's best personal trainer. You're going to have your own gym at home. You're going to spend money on your health. If you value family, you're going to buy your parents a house, your kids a house. You're going to buy your kids a car. You're going to spend money on your family. If you value learning and self-growth, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably do. You're going to go sign up to a mentor, a mastermind, a course or something because you value your learning and self-development. If you value wealth, you probably invest a ton of it into like the stock market or property or something like that. What you do are your values. Freedom's not a fucking value. Freedom gives you the opportunity and the resources to live out your values. Subtle difference, very powerful. Anyways, I could talk about values all the time, but I'm not going to go into it. So values is the first step. Then we go purpose, your purpose in life. I have a process called the purpose process where you find your life's purpose. You don't have to take all this plant medicine and meditate for years to figure that out. Then we do mission and vision. This is based, we do these first, and then we use your values and purpose to get clear on your life's mission and vision. Your vision is essentially what is your life, what does an inspired life look like to you? So you wake up, what do you do? And I use your values to expand on it. So essentially, what you wake up, what do you do? What does a dream day look like to you? We do that exercise as well. So you wake up, do you meditate? Do you go to the gym? Do you spend time with your family? Do you have fucking beautiful sex when you start your morning? Is that what you love? Because people do value that. That can be a high value of yours. Intimacy, connection, sex, it can literally be a high value of yours. It's what do you love? What do you want to have your life looking like? And then later on in the skills and strategies, then you have a plan of how to get there. What do I need to do in the next 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 12 months, quarter, month, week, and day for me to move towards my vision and to fulfill my purpose, to live out my values? Can you see the difference between doing what I just said versus what most people do and be, oh, my mum said I should be a doctor. I got to do this. I have to do this. And so I do it begrudgingly with fucking resentment and frustration, but you grind through it because you're a fucking hard worker, whatever stories you got. And then you wake up 40 years later or 20 years later, 30 years later, and you've had a midlife crisis because you've achieved the goals, but they're not your fucking goals. They're your parents or society or religion or whatever you've listened to. So that's why I do that first. Then with the inner work and the skills and strategies, sometimes I sort of dance between, if I'm working one-on-one with someone, I'm going to tailor the journey to them, obviously. But generally, I'll do the inner work first, where we then start to remove limiting beliefs, trauma, wounds, blocks, and shadows. Because all of those things, number one, are going to self-sabotage you when it comes to achieving your goals, but also it's also minimizing your true self. So the more inner work that you do, the more authentic you become because you're living out your values, your purpose, your mission at a higher level. These are the I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I can't do it, blah, 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 blah. So we want to dissolve those and heal through the judgment, the trauma, the wounds that you've got. And we've all got our own. Then we've got skills and strategies. So this is where we go through planning. So again, I kind of just ran you through the plan. So your mission and vision is a 5 to 10 year goal. Then we go down to 3 years, 2 years, 12 months, quarter, month, week, and day. So then you got clarity on what you're doing today to move forward, because some people get overwhelmed. It's like, how do you eat the whale in one bite? You can't. It's overwhelming. How do you achieve your mission in a week? You can't do that. You need time. You need a plan. You need to learn technical skills. You need to learn soft skills. So technical skills, if you're looking at the screen, technical skills are your more like strategic skills, administrative skills, tactical skills. Think of them as hard skills. And then soft skills, think of IQ for technical skills. Think of EQ, which is emotional intelligence, which is like communication, holding space, regulating emotions, etc., etc. So you need the tactical stuff. If you've listened to any Tony Robbins or any basic self-development before, they say success in anything in life is 20% skills, 80% mindset. So this is where majority of my work is mindset based, or on the individual, the psychology, the fulfillment, the soul, the spirit aspect of things. But then the skills are important. How do you build a business? How do you build a following? How do you sell? How do you market? How do you communicate? How do you set boundaries? All the above. You need to learn those skills, because Tony Robbins uses the funny example. If you're running east looking for a sunset, it doesn't matter how fucking motivated you are or how fucking inspired you are or how determined you are. You're never going to get there. You need the right strategy. But the thing is, the strategies are fucking easy once you know them. I'll say that again. The strategies are simple once you know them. Read a book, listen to a podcast, do a fucking program, do it. Like, I'll use health and fitness because most people can relate to it. And before I use that example, just to wrap this up, so I've got a circle around the outside, and that's community. Because if you're in a community where people are living out these and learning and growing within all of these, they're going to support and challenge you to move towards that. You're going to have alignment and you're going to build meaningful connections. So that's why I have the circle around the end. But let's use health and fitness to wrap this up. So health and fitness, the skills to be relatively healthy and fit are fucking simple. You don't need a PhD to figure this out, right? Train, move your body like 30 to 60 minutes a day and do rigorous training, push yourself, challenge yourself, drink water, Don't drink soft drinks and bullshit drinks. Drink water. Get some good sleep. Just do those and you're going to be pretty good. And make sure, obviously, nutrition. I miss nutrition. I don't want to miss nutrition. And nutrition, huge. Make sure your macros, so your protein, calories, and all that stuff, are in the range of what you're needing. And eat as organic as possible. Don't eat processed shit. Like, if you just do that, that's pretty simple. There's like 4 steps. Obviously, you could go learn that. Go get a trainer. It's not that hard to figure it out. It's quite simple. I figured out this statistic for the book that I'm writing. In 2023, 65% of Australians are obese. 65%. And it's not this lack of skills. It's fucking easy to figure that out. You can watch it, jump off this podcast, go watch a YouTube video on how to work out your macros, how to work out protein, how to get better sleep. You can figure it out. It's not that hard. Most people lack the mindset. They don't have the intrinsic drive because they don't know their values, their purpose, their mission, their vision, or they've got limiting beliefs, trauma, and wounds that are preventing them from seeking out the skills or even having the skills and following through with the skills. So I've kind of gone on like rants and tangents because I'm quite passionate about this. All of that solves the midlife crisis. If you know who you are authentically without the mask, the expectations, the shoulds, the have to, the ought to, the got tos, you know your life's purpose. You know what your values are. You have a vision and mission for your life that's yours, not someone else's. You have a plan and you have the skills, or you have a list of skills that you've got to learn, like, because you might not have the skills right now. So then just have a list of skills. So like I'm building my coaching business, and that's what I'm focused on at the moment. I'm writing a book at the moment. So I've paid a coach to help me write a book. I've never written a fucking book before. I don't know the skills that go into it, how to do copywriting, how to do the structural of a book, how to make a cover of a book. Like, I don't fucking have those skills. So you pay someone, you can do it for free through obviously YouTube and all that stuff, but it's like, you're just going to go have a list of skills that you need to go learn. So it might be marketing, sales, leadership, communication, setting boundaries, all the above. And then you do the inner work, because your unhealed trauma and limiting beliefs are the silent, invisible puppet master which are controlling your actions unconsciously. If you keep deflecting, you keep self-sabotaging, you keep fucking your goals up, I guarantee you have some inner work that you haven't addressed. Some limiting beliefs, some trauma, some wounds, etc. So you do all 3, you will never go through a midlife crisis. Or if you're going through one, that's how you correct it. I start with self-mastery, get clear on your values, get clear on your purpose, get clear on your mission and vision. And then depending if you've got like a lot more inner work to do, you've never done any sort of self-development, personal development, inner healing before, I'd probably start there. Or maybe you've done a fair bit of inner healing, you've done a lot of inner work, fantastic. I'd probably go to the skills and strategies. And you do all 3 of them. You refine all of them. You're never done. There's always more skills. There's always more learning. There's always more refining with your purpose, mission, vision, all the above. And that is how you fix a midlife crisis, prevent yourself from having one, or get yourself out of one. I hope that made sense. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. I'd love to know your takeaways. I'd love to know if this made sense and landed for you. And if you're interested in working with me and going through my method and having all of these things taught to you, that's what I do. I do it with my one-on-one clients. I have a conscious community where I teach you step by step how to do everything. With the PDFs, with the plug and plays, I teach you every single step of the way of how to do it. If that interests you, I have a conscious community. I have my one-on-one coaching. I do have a book that I'm writing. It's not live as of now, but it might be by the time you're watching this podcast, where I teach you how to do all of that. Check the links down below. Send me a DM on Instagram or social media if you want to have a chat, and I'd love to serve you. Thank you so much. Send this to a friend as well to help them out, because that means a lot. I appreciate you. Speak to you soon.